Alright everybody, welcome to episode 243 of Psykos Platters.
Always powered by coffee, each and every time. I'm Batman.
So listen, sorry it took a little while. I tried to keep some videos still on here for everybody. Sorry about that. Because I knew that I was going to be kind of busy, so to speak, for the last 2 weeks. I posted the Creed Bratton live stuff. If you haven't seen that, go check that out. I think you'd get a kick out of it. And then the one that I posted yesterday, due to Aretha Franklin's passing, Elle King from last year, live doing a cover of an Aretha song. My head's not with it today. I can't remember what tune it was, but yes, it's a little shaky, but I ran it through a stabilization process, so it was less shaky, okay? It's kind of hard at... That's what she said. No, never to me. Never to... Okay, so, I mean, I'm almost 51, and it's kind of difficult to be able to keep a digital camera still. That mixed with, out of all honesty, I am just not sure if the venue does something, because it's not the first video that I've posted from said venue. I'm not going to mention the venue. And I'm wondering, is there technology out there to, like, how do I explain this without sounding extremely stupid? Like sound waves or something that could distort a picture. Because even when I've been a little bit more still with the camera, it'll still get a little wavy at times. And I'm kind of wondering, like, you know, or is it just the sound maybe affects when you're trying to film? I don't know. It's weird. I don't really have problems with that when I'm doing indoor gigs as opposed to outdoor. See what I'm saying? September 2nd's coming very close. Ringo. Yeah, I am going to attempt to... I won't be able to post them here, though, because YouTube police will get me for that. But I want to just have it for myself, at least. Maybe eventually I'll put it on my website when I get a Psykos Platters website. I already kind of trademarked everything, just in case. But if I ever have a website, I am going to be posting a bunch of clips. I have got stuff going back to the last few years, even, for that. So... But, so I digress. The live clips were to just keep things going until I came back. Like I said, sorry it took me so long. I had to... it's the next couple of weeks are going to even get more interesting. I finally got a new doctor. I think new tests for me are on the way. So please kindly say your prayers and for me to be stable at least, right? Alright, so listen. This is going to be part 1 of 3. That's right, part 1 of 3. I found that much 45s. I split them into 3 piles. I may even find more. I found a little bit more last week, actually. Some solo Beatles that I have not had. I have not had that 45 in over 20 years of my collection when I found it. So let's go through this interesting little stack. Did my research as always. First one here on chess. Chuck Berry's It Wasn't Me, from November-December 65. It was recorded in September of 65 off the album Fresh Berries. Your personnel on the whole entire album and both sides of this 45, you ask? Well, Johnny Johnson, who was his lifetime piano player pretty much until Johnny died. But on this particular album, you've got Paul Butterfield and Mike Bloomfield from the Paul Butterfield Blues Band. That's right. And we all know, you know, that Butterfield was excellent, and so was Mike Bloomfield, an underrated guitar player. Excellent. This was actually, it didn't chart this 45, though. It was the last LP Fresh Berries was for chess for Chuck Berry until 70s back home album. So Chuck Berry to start that off. As everyone knows, I am from the Chicagoland area. I've had some people gripe. They're like, you're not from Chicago. Right, that's why I say Chicagoland. There's a difference. I know, these people are anal, the ones that tell me this crap. Anywho, so I like all the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s Chicago era stuff. I just do. It's in my heart. It's in my soul. Crying Shames. Yes, Crying Shames. I like Crying Shames. I don't think they get enough justice. I really don't. Young Birds Fly. This was a non-LP track released in the summer of '68. Went to 99 on Billboard, 86 on Cashbox. Originally, Crying Shames were known as Tommy and the Travelers, but they had to change their name. Tommy Crying. Seriously, that was the pronunciation. Wouldn't have been available for the band, and someone said it's a crying shame. True story. Their first single was supposed to be George Harrison's If I Needed Someone, but due to publishing problems, it later ended up on as an LP track. Sugar and Spice was their first single, and it actually was a '63 hit for the Searchers. In '68, where this came from, Lineup Changes. Says, though, from the research materials that they disbanded in December of '69, but I could have sworn that I have seen some reference materials that they attempted to have a Crying Shames in the '70s. I want to say mid-'70s, for that matter, too. I want to say '74 to '77. I could be wrong on that, but I could have sworn. I thought I saw some pictures and some related material. So Crying Shames, excellent stuff there. To go from one excellent Chicago area band to another. I had this 45 back in the 80s. In the late 80s, actually, I found it. And then it got lost in one of my moves in the 90s. And I snagged that sucker here locally just a couple weeks back on Team Records. Shadows of Night Shake. I love this tune. I do. I've always loved this tune. Shadows started out in Mount Prospect, Illinois in '64. They were originally known as the Shadows. Not Shadows of Night, but Shadows. By early '67, the lineup changes abound. Jim Soames, the lead singer, was the only one left. They moved from Chicago to New York. They wanted to go, of course, in a British power rock direction, but Super K, which was the new label that they landed on, steered them more towards bubblegum, but they ended up becoming more of a mix of bubblegum and punk. This one here, of course, fall of '68, this came out. 46 on the Billboard charts, number 37 in Canada, so it actually squeaked into the top 40 there. They broke up around '75. They came back together in '90. Two things I want to throw out there for little instant facts. Number one, Dunwich put out Gloria 69. I think it was also in '68 they put that out. They ended up re-recording the bass tracks, and I think the drum tracks too. The bass tracks are Peter Cetera from, future Chicago member. Actually, no, at that time he would have been Chicago member. And so Peter Cetera is on Gloria 69, go figure, on that 45. And then the other thing is, it's kind of cool. I was supposed to go to this. I was supposed to interview these guys too. Everything fell apart. But in August 20th, 2016, the surviving members got back together for a one-off show for the first time in nearly 50 years in Illinois. The only one missing that wasn't there at that time was Warren Rogers. Warren Rogers, though, has been found, or should I say he's been found, but he doesn't want to be found. Yeah, but Shake, oh, I love that stuff. Some of those later 45s are actually hard to find. I actually have another one I think I've got from '70, I Am the Hunter on Atco. I found that one in a very strange place, back up in Illinois. Alright, next one. I've never come across a 45 of the Beach Boys' Friends, and Little Bird is the flip. This one from April of '68, number 47 on the U.S., number 25 in the U.K. though. Written by all but Mike Love in the band. The Friends LP would essentially be the last major involvement of Brian Wilson until 1977. So like I said, really kind of happy to have this. This is in 3/4 time waltz. I can't remember. I want to say it was, I read somewhere, Berkeley School of Music actually uses this as an example of a waltz. Go figure on that. Next one. He had his hot tub party. Oh, boy, I'm kidding. That was Eddie Murphy, but ow! James Brown. I know, that was horrible, wasn't it? That was very horrible. Lick and Stick. Now, I know what you're thinking. This came out in May of '68. Cut it out, you perverts. It's not what you think. Lick and Stick, according to James Brown anyway, although he could have been fibbing, was a stick that you would use to take a licking, a.k.a. beating. Like a cane or a switch or something like that. But we all know there probably could be a double entendre, too. Ha! Lick and Stick! Ha! Touch myself! Anyway, Eddie. I'm sorry. This just went and degenerated into hell, didn't it? Number 14 on the Billboard charts. Number 2, R&B. James Brown, Bobby Bird, and Alfred Pee Wee Ellis all over. Both parts of this baby here. Next. I'm actually happy to have this in the collection. For the last 20 plus years I've been looking for this 45, and every time I came across this thing, it looked like an elephant trampled on it. On Date, the Zombies' Time of the Season. I have always liked this song. I like the Zombies, period, even though they only had 3 hits in the U.S. But, you know, they originally formed in early '61. 3/5 of that band actually formed that early. The other 2 hits, of course, She's Not There. Number 12 on the UK in mid-'64. A latecomer to the U.S., though, but it ended up being a number 2 hit in December of '64. Tell Her No came out in December '64 in the UK, but number 6 in the US by March of '65. And then, like I said, Odyssey and Oracle, which was the album that this came from, was released in April of '68, but this was released in March of '68 for a single. But get this, though, that whole Odyssey and Oracle album, which is an excellent album, I have heard a lot of YouTube examples. I actually have no zombie albums. I have been looking. I don't even have like a greatest hits or a comp. I have 0 zombie albums, which depresses me. I got a couple 45s. That's what I've got. I've got the Parrot stuff. I've got a couple Parrot 45s. But the album wouldn't have come out if it wasn't for help from Al Kooper. Yeah, you know that Al Kooper. Blood, Sweat, and Tears, Bob Dylan, Skinnerd, all over the place Al Kooper was. His solo stuff. He convinced Columbia Records, which was the parent company of Date, to release the album. Time of the Season, like I said, comes out here in March of '68, but it was recorded in August '67. But get this, even though it came out in March of '68, it took almost a whole year. And the band already split up already by then. But it took a whole year almost to land number 3 in the U.S., number 1 in Canada. Go figure. That's kind of strange, you know, if you think about it. Almost a whole year later after the release, and the band already broke up. And the extra kick in the pants, though, sort of is that after Odyssey and Oracle, they attempted to record another album, but they only got about half an LP finished. The tracks would be released on a 1997 Zombies anthology, except for Imagine the Swan, which came out as a 45 in late '69. Now, I thought this was kind of a very, I mean, Argent was getting formed, I guess, by then, they said. And there was different promoters. And even the Zombie manager was like, hey, this thing's a huge hit over in U.S. I said, how about you guys get back together for a tour? The Zombies said no. All of them did, especially because, like I said, with Argent starting up. So this is where kind of a weird story comes in. If you haven't heard this before, great. And if you have, I don't know, fast forward for the next minute or 2 in the video, because I'm going to tell a brief story about this. Some scrupulous managers went off and, of course, discovered that the Zombies broke up in '69. You know, they weren't there. So they figured, oh, we'll be cute. There was 2 different versions of fake Zombies bands. One came out of Texas, the other came out of Michigan. So you have no original members, no nobody. But the Texas Zombies was a little interesting. You could go look it up. There's several different websites that have this story. But you have 2/3 of ZZ Top. Yeah, Dusty Hill and Frank Beard are in this band. Yes, the Texas Zombies. And they actually went around, and supposedly there's I think there's a little bit of snippet of tape of them as the Texas Zombies, or I could be confusing it with the Michigan Zombies. But there was a little bit of trickery, obviously. But I just thought it was real funny that 2/3 of ZZ Top would land in this Texas fake Zombies, and then a year later, surprise, we're in ZZ Top now. So I'm glad they ended up being legitimate. But yeah, all is 69, and the band found out about it in a very strange way. They're like, what the hell? And I think even one of the members, I want to say it was Hugh Grundy, showed up in the audience and was like, oh hell. So they threw a cease and desist on them very quickly. But the Michigan Zombies, they're like, all right, we'll go up and we'll just, you know, go quietly away and change ourselves to the Archies, the real Archies. That's what they called themselves. Like, oh geez, by 1970. And so they thought they could get away with that one. But Don Kirshner was like, we heard about this. They threw a cease and desist by 71. That fake band was dead too. You can't win. So Zombies, I love them. I do. I actually do like them. They're very underrated. Almost done, guys. Almost done. This one here, I do not know why I must have probably left the other one there. This one I picked up at a Salvation Army about 2 weeks back. Electric Indian on United Artists from 1969, Kemo Sabe. Yes. Actually, I like both sides of this, but Broad Street is a little more funkier. I could see this in maybe some Northern Soul clubs, actually, I think. But produced by Len Barry from the Dovells. You know, good old Mr. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, him. And get this, at least on this 45, Daryl Hall from Hall & Oates is on this thing, doing keyboard work. It's true. So, kind of neat for the Hall & Oates collectors if you don't have the Electric Indians Kemo Sabe single. Now, the album is a different story. They said that they went off and they did a cash-in album shortly after this, and I'm led to believe that most of the tracks on the album were future members of MFSB, you know, from Philadelphia International Records. So, kind of cool on that part too. Last 45, this one here, White Label Promo, Mono Stereo, from 73, Brenda and the Tabulations, One Girl Too Late. Found in 66 in Philly, lineup changed in 71 to 2 backing singers. Originally it was more of a doo-wop sound, sort of, kind of. The song was written by Van McCoy and arranged and produced as well. You know Van McCoy. He's the one that goes, do the hustle! Yeah, you know. By 77, Brenda went solo and she passed away in 92. So Brenda and the Tabulations, One Girl Too Late. And that's it for that particular set of 45s anyway. Part 2 and Part 3 are going to get a lot more interesting. I got some funk and northern soul nuggets mixed in. I'm telling you, I did real good over the last couple of weeks. No new subs, unfortunately. In fact, I lost some. I guess that's probably my fault, but like I said, I can't keep up with everything. My life is just getting kind of stupid. But, so yeah, I got 2 more 45 parts. I'll have definitely some albums. I found some more albums too. And also, hopefully, in the next week or two, I'll have some signed albums to show you too. Hopefully with Booker T from Booker T and the MGs and Mavis Staples. Along with, I'm going to attempt to do a mail-in. There's a concert about 2 hours away. There's no way I can make it. But I'm led to believe that this venue is actually susceptible to through the mails. So, Dennis Stefano from the Buckinghams, Mitch Ryder from the Detroit Wheels, and Gary Lewis and the Playboys will all be there in one night in about 2.5 weeks from now. So I'm going to try to send some album covers and see what happens. It'd be really nice if I ended up getting some SIGs from them too. I heard that these 3 are actually really good to get autographs in person, but like I said, we'll see about that bit. Wax Museum with Ronnie Dark and Night Owl Lounge with Mike Adams, 6 to 9 and 9 to 10 Central Standard Times on Sunday nights. WVOA 87.7 Syracuse, New York. Go listen to them on either Tuned In or Uber stations, which is where I listen to them. Vinyl Grotto Radio Show. I have an idea. I'm hoping to talk to Dougie Fresh in the next week. I think I know what I want us to do for our next joint episode. I think you guys will get a kick out of it. And then let's see here. 30 Music Collectors Group, Tim Smith and Company. Let's see, what else? I don't know. I know there's probably a lot more. Sorry, guys. I'm just kind of tired. But please like and subscribe Psykos Platters. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your frenemies. I mean it. When I get to 600 subs, we'll do a contest, okay? But unfortunately, it appears I backslid a few subs, so it may take a little longer unless you guys know some people that know some people that know some people. Alright, guys. Take care. God bless. Rock on. I'll see you next time. And you know what? Thank you, guys. Thank you for watching. I love you all. Bye.